Hello. Hi. Queendom Puzzle, episodes 5 and 6. Talking about the all-rounder battle. Cool stuff. In this round, the girls split up into Team Queendom and Team Puzzle, and they got to choose their teams on stage live in the last round. And then there were some switcheroos where some girls were moved and voted off, and it was a big chaotic mess. But we're going to talk more about the actual performances themselves rather than like all the drama on the show. I mean, if there's drama that came up with each performance, I'll talk about it there. But let's not dilly-dally too long and start just chit-chatting, okay? Okay, I lied a little more dilly-dallying. Just reminder, my Patreon, it's only $1, and you can watch Queendom Puzzle with me, which is like, I don't know, that's something you can do if you want to. I am also watching A2K and Are You Next there as well. I haven't done any YouTube videos on the shows. I don't know if I will, but if you want to know my thoughts on those, you can watch the episodes with me there on my Patreon. Okay, now let's talk about this round of Queendom Puzzle. And I know in the past rounds, I went through each performance in a ranking kind of order. I'm not going to do that this time because the performances were head-to-head. So I feel like it makes more sense for me to talk about them in that way. So we're just going to go in the order that they did on the show, and I'm going to compare the two performances, and I'm going to say who I think should have won. And at the very end, I'm going to give my top 7 of this round, as well as my top 7 just overall on the show so far, as well as the 5 girls I think who might get eliminated next episode, because that's a thing. Apparently there's eliminations, and they're going to cut 5 girls, which I assume was originally going to be 7, but since 2 dropped out, they're just going to cut 5. So I'm going to say which 5 girls I think have a very good chance of maybe potentially not moving on in the show. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, starting off with Rush Hour versus Weekend. I'm going to first give my thoughts on Rush Hour because that is the team that went first. The puzzle team went first every round, so I'm going to start with them, and I'm going to talk about the Queendom team. I know it's weird because it's like Queendom Puzzle, but I'm going puzzle first, then Queendom, whatever. So, the Rush Hour team, honestly, just like a really good grouping of girls. They're definitely an intimidating group to go up against. Because, I mean, you got Yoram, you got Yan, you got Nana. Like, those 3 right there are very intimidating. So, I had high hopes for this team. I thought they had some just really cool ideas. Like, Yoram standing in the crowd was, oh my gosh. I thought that was so cool. That was so smart. I was scared for her. Like, she's literally just in the crowd, which is insane. And I like that. I think the big standout of the performance for me was when Yuki and Yeon made their entrance. What just like a cool idea. First the whole calling on the phone, then they like enter by the car, and I thought this was gonna be like all pre-recorded, but it doesn't seem like it. It seems like that car entrance was live, and the timing of that was just kind of impeccable, and it kind of blew my mind. I thought that was really cool. I was hoping their actual raps would have been a bit better because they are like the 2 big rappers on the show, but whatever. They made an entrance and I loved it. My biggest complaints of the performance is first off the harmonies. They made a really big deal to talk about the harmonies in like the clips before the performance, like the behind the scenes stuff, and then hearing them in the live performance, like they weren't really there, like they weren't really clean, they weren't really clear. Ew. And like the part in the bridge where they just like stand in the circle, I don't know, I didn't like that. It just felt weird and changed the vibe and the energy of the performance. And I think in general, one of the things I didn't care about this performance was the energy felt a bit not there, like it was a bit stiff. Like it doesn't feel like they were totally confident and comfortable and just having fun. Felt maybe a bit too like calculated, and some of the things, like it should have been like a really fun performance, and it felt like fun, but I wasn't like really feeling the energy from them, except for when they did the fake ending. I thought that was really well done, and they totally got me. I was like clapping, and then they kept going. I was like, oh my god. And especially with that little like double time feel to it, that I think was just like really great. That was a really great moment, and I think it made that performance end on a really high note, which is good. Now for the Weekend team, I was obsessed with the beginning. They looked so cute. The little swing, Soyeon on the bike, Guys, I know I talk so much about how cute Soyeon is and how much I love Soyeon, but I was screaming. She was so cute. Overall, I think this was a really solid performance. It was really cute. I think the arrangement was a bit too slow. I think they were trying to go for like a city pop feel, if I remember correctly, which is fine. I just thought it lost some of the energy that I would have wanted from it. And I know they added a rap to it. I didn't care too much for the rap. I know there's a rap in the original, but they did like a different style rap, which, whatever. It is the vocal and rap round, so like, I get it. It kind of makes sense, but I wasn't like too here for it. And like, as cute as they all were, as much as I loved watching them, the vocals were quite there. And I mean, when you're singing a Taeyeon song, like, it's gonna be hard. So if I'm comparing the two, although they were pretty close for me, I liked both of them, I think, pretty equally, but I do have to give it to the Rush Hour team, as I think they did just kind of do a better job. And I liked some of those elements, like I said, with Yuki and Yan and their entrance, Yorm in the crowd. Like, I think those are just some really cool ideas. So I'll give that to the, what was the puzzle team? Yeah, the puzzle team. If We Ever Meet Again versus Hopeless Romantic. So this was like the ballady round of the vocal and rap ones. Not really any rapping here. Pretty vocal focused. Let's start with the first one. I forget what the title is every time. If We Ever Meet Again, which was performed by the two main vocals of the show, Bora and Kay, which like it was gonna happen eventually, and like yeah, it was kind of amazing. Kay is just so good. I love Bora, I do, but Kay is just like on this whole other level. Just like her tone, her timbre, it's just so, oh, it's just so beautiful and full. Hi, Jack Guy, how are you doing? The stage itself is pretty. There's not much going on, but like that's fine. It's just a ballad song, so there's not really much you can do. I did like audibly gasp when their dresses changed and revealed like the yellow dandelion flower thingies. Part of that was also just because there were now yellow stains around their crotch on the dress, and I was just kind of like, oh my god. It was a bit of like a, what is going on? And then I was like, oh, that's really cool kind of moment. I feel like there's really not much to say about this performance. Like, it's just a rock solid performance, and they're both fantastic vocalists. Like, there's nothing I can add. Now, for the Hopeless Romantic team, I have to just say, first off, I love this song. I am obsessed with this song. I remember I talked about this song back when this came out earlier this year in my anti-haul video, because I love this song and like the G-Dragon vibes that it has. And I'm like so happy that more people can find out about this song now, because I'm pretty sure it's a song that international fans don't really know as well, because Big Naughty's like in the K-R&B, K-hip-hop realm. If you don't know, Soohyun from Akmu is the female vocalist from the original. It's just a beautiful song. You should really check it out, because as much as I love these girlies, they didn't really do it justice. I do think Juri sounded really good. I thought her voice fit this song very well. I'm also just so Juri biased these days. And I do want to stress that I don't think these girls are necessarily bad vocalists. I just don't think it comes close to the original. Like, if there's one part to say I think they didn't sound good, it was the big climactic moment, which, you know, sucks, because that is like the whole like build up of the song. It's just like that big moment. They weren't really sounding great, because they're all singing together, which is hard to do. To try to make four voices, you know, come together as one. Whatever. I was so like biased just from loving the song that I like wasn't even paying attention to their actual vocals. I was just like singing along. I did, however, really like how they ended the song. The like little moment of them walking off one by one after they sang their line. I liked that. It had like a kind of like a somber ending, which was probably really awkward for the audience, but I think it just worked kind of well as like an overall performance decision. So yeah, I think it's kind of obvious which performance I think wins this round. It is Kay and Bora's. I would, however, have loved to hear them do a performance of Hopeless Romantic. That would have given me chills. Oh, if only. Alright, Wannabe versus Time of Our Life. Starting first with Wannabe, which, if you don't know, I'm a Mitzi. I love ITZY, and Wannabe was my song of the year back in 2020. That is when they came out. Wow. And first off, it's kind of weird that this is a vocal round song, right? ITZY is not really a group I think of with vocal like performances. They're very dance focused. It's really hard to think of this song without the performance. Like, I'm already subtracting points off that they didn't do the Ryujin shoulder move. Like, how do you perform Wannabe and not, you know? So they went for a rock version of the song. And if you don't know, a rock version of this does exist. ITZY performed it at the Asian Artist Award back in 2020. And I love that version. I've watched that dance practice so many times. So it made sense that they did this. Starts off with that Jihan little guitar solo thing, which I think is still just like a cool idea, a cool moment. I don't think we needed to ruin the guitar. I'm just someone who doesn't really like to support the breaking of instruments. But you know, she looked so cool. So cool. I also have to take off points for Jiwon's hair and outfit. What did they do to her? What is this little like German girl like and where did the bangs come from? I think the stars of this performance are Rina and Uyeon. I think Rina's voice is so perfect for this, and Uyeon just is giving me Leah energy, and I love it. She's just so cute. Like, honestly, all in all, I think they sounded really great in this performance. It was a just good energy, lots of positive thoughts, right? I really liked this. I do, however, have one critique, and I feel so bad because I have critiqued her every round so far. And yes, Sangha. I just think her rapping's a bit flat and kind of offbeat at points. She always looks like she's kind of in pain. And I'm just really confused by it all. Now, her hi, this is Sangha little rap thing that she included was kind of funny and was like kind of like a cool little moment. I will give her that. But I do think that overall she does need to work on her rapping a bit. Especially when, you know, the other rappers on the show, like Yuki and Yan, are like really top tier rappers. Now, for the time of our life performance, we start off with that nice little Polaroid moment, which is so cute. I just gotta say it. They were the best vocal performance, like, of the night. I mean, okay. Besides, like, Kay and Bora, but, like, they're kind of cheating. Okay? I'm not including them. Like, when it comes to a group performance, they sounded so good together. Like, everyone just on their own and together sounded so good. There was no person who I thought was really, like, the weakest link. I think they just all were good together. I am so in love with Soon's beginning part. Her voice just sounds so good there. Miru also just sounds so good. Ellie is just like the underrated vocal of the show, and I wish they gave her more attention. Chaden was really good. Huisa, of course, we already know is really good. Everyone was so good, and I gotta say, I've been saying this since day one. I love performances when it looks like they love performing the performance. If they look like they're having fun, I'm gonna have fun, and I'm going to enjoy myself, and I'm gonna love the performance. And by God, they are like the example of what I'm talking about, where they look like they're having so much fun. They're running around, they're smiling, they're spinning, like they're not thinking about their dance moves, like they're just enjoying themselves. Like, it felt like their song that they're performing at a concert, and that was just so like refreshing and fun. Also, the taking the picture with the crowd was so cute. So yeah, this was the best performance of the entire show so far. So they take this round. I gotta say, Wannabe was really good, and if it was up against like any of the other performances, like I think I would have preferred Wannabe, but Time of Our Lives is just so good. And it didn't win, which is absolutely insane. And I have a little theory I've crafted that going first is just such a huge advantage. And I can't believe the Queendom team decided to go second. That's absolutely insane to me, because in the nude performance, the phrasing on that, they were the first team that went and they won. I feel like that right there should have shown how, oh, going first is a huge advantage. But in general, before I talk about the dance round, let me just talk about the Queendom team and the puzzle team, because the puzzle team is very much like the like Avengers, whatever. Like they clean sweeped. It was just like bringing me down, man, because the Queendom team is such an underdog team. Like so many of the aces are on the puzzle team. They had a lot of advantages going into this round. By God, I'm rooting for Queendom team so much. The energy between the Queendom team and the puzzle team during actual performances is so different. The Queendom team is always just looking like they're having fun. They have like that Nugu energy. And I'm so drawn to that. And the puzzle team is just they're very talented. Like they're very skillful and they're very serious. And like that's not bad things. But it very much sets up this story of the top dogs versus the underdogs. I can't help but root for the underdogs. I'm really hoping the Queendom team gets some wins from the dance battle because we don't know the results yet. I'm really hoping there's some good news. Let's now talk about the dance performances. All right, Bad Blood versus Overwater. And yes, all of these songs are original songs and they're like kind of all bops. Like, wait a minute. I hope these are all songs that come out like on the album that whatever this group is like produces, because I will listen to these songs. I know the Queendom versions are on Spotify, but I'm kind of wanting like the big official version whenever this show ends. But yeah, let's talk about Bad Blood first, which is the best song. Wow, do I love this song. Now, this song has a lot of tricky parts in the choreography, a lot of tricks, and I'm so bummed that they weren't able to pull off a lot of those moments, because we saw that they could do them in practice and rehearsal, and it just didn't come out on stage because of nerves or whatever. Like when I think of Yeon's fire moment, I think that she should have just let it go. She should have tried it didn't work, and she still just like throws it because no one in the crowd would know. But she just kind of stood there and kept playing with it, and that's when everyone goes, oh, something isn't working. There's a lot of ways she could have pulled it off better, which, you know, I'm on the sidelines talking, so, you know, who knows how I would have reacted on stage in front of a crowd. But I think that should have been something they would have practiced or rehearsed in the event that it didn't work, what she should do. Oh well. I think it did rattle her a bit because she does make a mistake later. And that one's a bit more noticeable because it's when Sooyoon is like in the splits and it like, which, that was so frustrating too. Just so many just moments like that, which is a bit of a bummer because really would have been like a rock solid performance if they had nailed this, because I think this performance was a good performance for this round to show dancing. I don't know if any of that made sense. My standouts or my ooh-ah girls, Nana and Uyeon, are just so good at dancing. Ooh-ah in general is just so good at dancing and performing, and I thought they were great. I will say one other big critique that I have, and this kind of goes I think for everyone, I don't like it when no one's lip syncing. Like, I know singing is not the focus of this round. Granted, you can't tell me the crowd's not just gonna vote for their favorite song sometime. But it's so weird when there's vocals and no one's lip syncing. But then there's other times where they're just like lip syncing. I don't know. It like rattles me. But like I said, they weren't the only ones I had this problem with. And now into the Overwater performance. Finally, Soojin is getting her moment on the show. She's getting that good edit, which is really helping since she did kind of get like kind of wrecked in the last round where they like kicked her out, and it was really heartbreaking, and Mnet's really trying to save this girl, but she was kind of a star in this episode, so I'm kind of rooting for her. It's working on me. What can I say? I like underdogs. What can I say? This performance had a lot less of like cool tricks and stuff, and it was very much of just like a normal K-pop choreography, which is weird for a round that's very focused on dance. So I do think this team was really smart in asking for more tricks to be done, right? With Soojin's little splits moment and everything. Very good call. I didn't even know they could do that. But that was brilliant. I have to point out yet again how much Jiu is improving. Oh my gosh, I'm just a proud little mother. Just seeing her blossom and grow. Every week, she is just getting so much better and better and more comfortable performing. And like, this was such a good idea to put some Triple S girls on the show. And I have to say too, I am so in love with Dohwa on this show. Offstage, she's amazing because she's just, I don't want to call her like the motherly figure because, you know, she is one of the oldest. I don't want old woman equals mother, you know? I mean, unless we're talking about like mother, you know? But you know, she has this maturity and charisma and leadership that I really love and admire about her. Just the way that she looks at the girls. I love her. And she just had some amazing moments in this performance too. Like she had like a little like wink moment or something. And I was like, oh my god. I'm so smitten. All in all, I love this team's energy. They look like they're having so much fun performing. The Queendom team is just like, they're just having a fun time, and I love that so much about them. So I do like this performance more. I do wonder if I would feel the same way if Bad Blood would have hit all their moves, but them not being successful at some of the stuff made this a lot easier of a decision. Bad Blood still is the better song, but these were my two favorite songs. And for the final versus match, we have Web versus Glow Up. So starting first with Web, we got the little string gimmick again, which is so unfortunate because we just had that with Nude, that it is kind of like a moment because we're not seeing it for the first time now, and it feels not as impressive as Nude. You know, ignoring all of that, I think that gimmick is a really good idea for this round, because kind of like what I was talking about with Overwater, how Overwater just felt like a normal dance for a K-pop song, where it's like, this is like the dance round, so you'd think there'd be more like big elements. So Web was kind of like the big one of like with the little strings. It added something to it, made it a bit more complicated. Of course, me on the sidelines going, psh, I could do that. It doesn't look that hard. I'm sure it's very difficult. Oh, and this is my least favorite of the songs. Like, I don't think it's a bad song. It's just not, like, for me. The actual performance, I think, was really solid. I think the biggest issue I have with it is it doesn't feel like there's any big standout moments for the girls. Like, I don't really remember anyone from this stage except for Rena. And that's only because there's a big story of her not being able to hit the moves well, that she kept messing up. And that's not good. According to my notes, my favorites from the performance were Jiwon, who, of course, Jiwon's just always fantastic. Joa, who's also always fantastic, and she had her little, like, close-up moment. She's getting a lot of those, like, close-up, like, she does it better than I do. And, of course, Yoram. Yoram is... she's amazing. But yeah, all in all, it's a solid performance, and if it didn't have the gimmick of the string, it would have been kind of meh. I wish they did more with, like, the thing. I really liked when they interacted together, when it wasn't just the solo stuff. Like, when they had the people, like, you know, actually making webs from it. I thought that's when they utilized all of that better. I was like, it's a solid performance. I really don't have complaints. Like, I'm reaching here. And lastly, we have the Glow Up team. What an intro. Absolutely iconic. The Huiso glasses moment that they kept playing over and over again. How did she do it, man? That's actually scary. That hurts. Anyway, amazing intro. The song is fun. The dance is fun. It's so me. I think Ellie was such a standout. Her little like, oh, moment, and then the little flip thing, and her vocals. Like, I know it's not a vocal round, guys, but wow, her vocals were so good for this song. Her, oh, like, ah. I also really love Julie in this performance, but the girl is getting no screen time, which is so unfortunate. I don't know. I thought this performance was really strong, and I might be Queendom team biased, but I do prefer this over Web. I also just like fun. I don't know if you guys have noticed this about me, but I really like fun concepts. So I'm really hoping, I'm really praying that the Queendom team can get some wins, because they were getting stomped on, so hopefully they got some points on the dance rounds. Who knows? If they don't win, if they get a clean sweep defeat, I'm telling you, it's the go first curse, or the go first buff, I guess, is really it. Stupid. But now let's get to the fun part, my top 7s. Remember, I am going to talk about the girls that I think might get eliminated next round. So stick around. So my top 7, first specifically for the all-rounder battle. Yoram, Huiso, Soon, Nana, Dohwa, Uyeon, Ellie. God, like, this is so hard. It was so hard to pick a top 7. Like I say it every time, guys, I should do honorable mentions. I wish. I just don't. Like, I look at my top 7s, I'm never satisfied. I'm never like, that's the top 7. Because there's always another girl that I'm like, oh, but what if? But the harder top 7 is my top 7 right now for the show. So it's the top 7 that I am kind of rooting for to be the final lineup. This is so hard. Huiso, Yoram, Kei, Yunhee, Juri, Nana, Jiwon. This is so hard. Like, there's like so many girls I would still like really love. Like, you know, I don't have Ye in there. I don't have Joa. I don't have Rina. Like, gosh, like, this is so hard, guys. So lastly, let's talk about the eliminations that are to come. Which, first off, I don't know how these are working. I'm so confused on the points. Do the points matter? Is this whose line is it anyway? Like, are we going off of votes or points? Where did the points go? I don't get it. Have they explained any of this? They just award points. And they're like 20,000 points. That's an absurd amount of points. So I don't know if it's like a mix of points and like points from voting. I don't get it. I don't know. But let me just talk about who I think might get eliminated just based off just like screen time alone. So I could be very wrong because I don't know like fan base power. The 5 girls that I'm kind of thinking are probably gonna get eliminated: Jui, Chaerin, Soyeon, Phi, Ellie. Which like is sad to me, but I think they're the ones kind of at risk right now. And they're not the only ones. There are some other girls that probably could get eliminated. Like, there's a good chance like Jiu might get eliminated, but I think she's kind of safe because she gets enough screen time. I don't know if Miru is safe. Sujin thankfully got a great enough edit that I think she's safe. Sooyoon from Rocket Punch is another one I'm not really sure about if she's getting a ton of attention on the show. Like, there's a lot of girls on the show that's just like not showing, which is unfortunate, and I don't like that about them. And let me just make this clear. I'm not saying that I want these girls eliminated. No. This show's killing me. At least, you know, we're getting some bangers from the show. We had some great performances. Finally, yay. Very happy fan this round. I had like positivity, yay. I think they said the next episode is like live. So don't know what's going to be going on there, because I guess what's happening after eliminations is they're starting to work on the semifinal performances, and they're doing the classic Mnet thing where they're practicing these performances knowing they might get eliminated. And I have a sinking feeling that what's probably going to happen is they're going to have those eliminations, and then the number of members aren't even, so now we have to move members to different performances, because they do this all the time in the produced shows. So there are girls who have been practicing one song, and then they're going to have to move to a different song. And they're probably going to get kicked out or voted off or something just miserable. And why do I watch this? Why do I support this? I don't know. But I love the drama. What can I say? So that is all I have to talk about for this round of Queendom Puzzle. Love to hear your thoughts. Would love to know your like rankings of the performances. Maybe your top 7s, who you think might get eliminated, who you really hope doesn't get eliminated. Any thoughts at all? And remember, you can watch along with me on the Oh My Patreon, but you also don't have to, because you're gonna hear me talk about it anyway here. Excited for what's to come. I've gotta go. Have a lovely time of day wherever, whenever you are. It is currently 2:15 a.m. Bye-bye.